everyone, thanks for joining me today and welcome to my kitchen once again. Get your tea, get your coffee, glass of wine if you want.
Glass of wine.
Glass of wine. No, we're not doing that singing thing again. That was too exhausting. But hey, welcome. Today I am going to show you how to make hot cross buns. These are the legit hot cross buns with rising, improving and kneading, etc. So they're not like a cheats one. And I guess, why would you want to make your own when you can go to like a bakery or whatever and buy ones that they've made from scratch? Well, my concept is that you can put whatever you want in it this way.
Okay.
So you could make them coffee flavored. You could do like I'm doing craisins, dates and white chocolate.
See, I have an issue with the dates, but I was told that I needed to suck it up. Hello, Alana. Good to see you. Good afternoon.
Well, the thing is, when dates are cooked, they go nice and caramelized.
They do, but just it sounds like...
Well, you're not allowed to eat them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
These are not keto diet friendly.
No.
If your kids don't like spice, well, not that I'm pushing that for Mrs. Rogers, but leave the spice out. At least they can have a hot cross bun. But it is fun to make, and the kids can get in and make it with you if you want to make a whole sort of couple of hour event tomorrow, which would be good. Pretty much, you're going to have everything in your pantry. I did. So...
And this is what these have just freshly come out. Now,
cooked.
I have put in the comment there that let us know whether you like traditional spiced hot cross buns or whether you like chocolate ones. So far, it is chocolates.
Those ones are chocolate.
These ones are chocolate.
Those ones are chocolate. Now, there is also a trick that I've found over the years as to when to put your chocolate in. I was going to say you're not brushing off that annoying fly. I've had one fly here all morning. Anyway, so making it easy. There's basically 3 steps. So first you've got to make the dough, and then you have to prove that for an hour and a half. So that's kind of where you could get the kids doing and making. Or you could come back after that hour and a half and the fun part where you're punching and you do more kneading and you make it into the buns.
Not punching the kids, you're not allowed to do that.
No, you've got to punch the kids. You punch the dough.
Even though it is coming up to school holidays, you know.
Well, yeah, you may be close to punching kids by now.
No.
They
do look yummy, don't they, Rosemary? Rosemary says they look yummy.
They look yummy, and they're homemade, and I do put a yummy glaze on them as well, which you may choose to or not do. It's up to you. But I'm also going to show you a couple of really good tricks that I've found for getting the crosses on, because I always struggled with my crosses. I've got a good trick there, so just stay tuned. Anyway, let's make your dough. Also, if you only want to make half a dozen of them or 6, that's fine. You can half the recipe. Because there's 2 eggs in this recipe, just half the recipe, so there's only 1 egg. So I did that quite successfully with the chocolate ones I made this morning.
Alana's being punning again. She's saying that they look amaze buns, even though they're hot cross bun. I mean, I'm
also, listen, I've got this really old
Look at this thing. It's out
like
of
I've gone retro.
Museum.
It is out of a museum. And this is a dough hook, everybody. So if your grandma's got one of these, that comes with like beaters and whippers and things.
I'm going to come around and get a bit of a shot. See if I can get a closer shot of the dough hook. Of my dough hook.
So this is a dough hook. This is going to save my arms because I've got a really sore back at the moment. So this...
It's a Kenwood Chef XL.
It is a
from 1972. Something around
I think it's probably older than me. Yep. It's lost its knob, but I can still function.
Oh no, the knob fell off.
Yep, the knob fell off.
Ken lost his knob.
This is why...
It's one of those... Sorry.
This is why I've got this funny looking bowl, because this is the bowl that attaches to my Kenwood. So anyway, let's get making 4 cups of flour.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Plain flour, just 4 cups. You will need some extra flour, so make sure you've got that, like the bag sitting with you. 1.5 teaspoons of Mrs. Rogers mixed spice.
And the mixed spice is really easy.
Some salt, Mrs. Rogers
salt. I love your recipes.
It's a pinch.
Put some stuff in, and then a little bit of this.
Well, it's a pinch of salt. I love salt, so I'm putting in a good pinch of salt, so more like 1/4 teaspoon. Yeah. Because I think salt is great in cooking. I'd rather add it to the cooking as opposed to adding it at the end.
Actually, I'm just going to sneak away over here and because we've got the hi Mel, good to see you. We've got the group going on, all right. So we've got like 120 odd members now, which is we're a fair way off the 175,000 people that that I dare say would like to know how to do home cooking better. But it's a pretty good start.
It's a very good start. So if you want to join our group, you've just got to ask to join, and we will approve you. And we will be doing that over
people
the
in the group can approve as well.
So. Other people can approve you as well. So don't feel like, oh no, nobody's going to approve me. Anyway, 1/4 cup of caster sugar. Caster sugar is good because it's nice and fine.
It is.
It's fine. Now, yeast. This is really important. One handy tip is to keep your yeast, if you're not using it, in the fridge, because it will make it last longer and stop it from activating spontaneously in your cupboard, and you make something like this and it doesn't work. Now, it's 14 grams of yeast. Yeast does come in
14 grams.
14 grams of yeast.
That's excellent.
The sachets is 7 grams each, but if you buy a big one like I do, I just used my fantastic weigher thingy and weighed out 14 grams.
Now, I've just approved Jenny Smith to join the group, so there you go. So if you're looking forward to joining, Rosemary's there. There we go. And people like fruit. They're liking the fruit. Yeah. Sorry, carry on with your recipe.
Okay,
that's
so
the point of this, not listening to me.
I've got that. Now, I'm going to put in my fruit, my craisins.
Now you've diced those.
No, the craisins aren't diced.
No.
I have diced the dates to size of the craisin.
Excellent.
Craisin size. It's craisin. That's a craisin.
Alicia likes fruit.
Now, this is not when you put the chocolate in. So if you put the chocolate in at this stage, it's just going to melt through the mix.
Yeah.
Because you'll see what I do next is I've got some melted butter here, and I've got 300 mils of milk, which is about 1.25 cups off the top of my head. And I need to make this lukewarm, just in that old microwave guy over there.
There's no fancy chef secret. You chuck it in the microwave. And this, everybody who's joining us, this is what we're making. They are traditional homemade hot cross buns. Now, they're homemade because they look glorious and they taste amazing.
So I'm also cracking
because I touched it.
2 eggs.
2 eggs.
This morning I thought I would put eggs in this time. Forgot with that batch this morning, but I just added the eggs, and it worked actually. Yeah. So if
you're in a rush and stuff up the recipe, doesn't matter so much.
It doesn't. Well, I just added it after the first prove.
Yeah, but there was a momentary panic.
There was a moment of
A moment of awe.
Yeah. I forgot the eggs.
That's
kind of moment. Now, we only want this lukewarm. We don't want it hot.
Sorry, what are you heating? I've forgotten.
So this is the milk and the butter. And this is gross, but I did wash my hands before. Best way to test is to put your finger in. And if you can just feel it, temperature-wise.
So it's lukewarm. You're not looking to blitz it.
It's lukewarm. If you make it hot, you're just going to kill your yeast.
The 14 grams of yeast that you've put in there.
Yeah. So that is lukewarm. I'm confident that is lukewarm.
Well done.
So.
I wonder if there was ever why it's Luke. Let's Google that. Why did they say lukewarm?
Why is it lukewarm?
And is it related to the name?
Maybe there was
Luke?
a guy who was Luke and he was really cold.
And they warmed him up. I have to look at that.
They warmed him up.
There must be some reason for it.
Or
it was a scientist who discovered the correct ratio to get things warm. Well, Professor Luke, I see you've only half heated it. And then he's like, yes, it's now lukewarm. Yeah. Jimmy, nice for you to join us, mate.
So, anyway, I'm just wanting to get it to a consistency where I know the flour's not going to flick everywhere when I try and attempt to use my dough hook. If you are doing this at home...
Every time you say dough hook, I'm going to have to say, dough.
Okay,
sorry,
I
apologise.
I'm just ignoring you. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah,
so once it gets to this stage, as you can see, it's getting harder and harder for me. If you don't have one of these Fandangle machines and haven't already made a batch this morning like myself, this is when you start to knead it. Now you need to knead it.
You need to knead it?
For 10 minutes.
So people who are joining us, this is a fancy machine from 1922 that does its thing. And Jimmy's making terrible jokes. Thank you, Jimmy, for making me and Alana and I not being the only people making terrible jokes.
I actually have to hold it.
Look at that.
I'm scared it's going to jump off.
So what would you do if, sorry for yelling everybody, we don't know how loud that is. What would you do if you didn't have a kneader?
You need to do it on the bench.
You have to do it on the bench.
So I'll show you as well. On a floured service, God, if only we could have floured service. On a floured surface, you need to knead it for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And it's really important because what that does is releases all the glutens and everything in it and makes it a nice soft dough and essentially a nice soft bun. So this is how they make bread or anything that needs kneading in a bakery.
Sorry for the noise, we don't know how loud that is for you guys, but yeah, Alana's saying that she kneads and mixes by hand, which most people do. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily have gone out and bought this.
But I had it in my pantry.
And we can stop yelling now. But
I'm just going to cut that because... But I just wanted you to know that
here's the dough hook.
Because I mean, there's some people out there and they don't have enough strength in their arms, or they, are elderly or
lazy like me.
Can't
get a machine.
They can't do it or whatever.
No.
Or they've already made a batch like me this morning.
Exactly right.
So as you can see, it's beautiful dough. Beautiful. The other good thing with a machine like that is you probably actually don't need to knead it for the 10 minutes. You probably only need to knead it for around, I would say half, I would guess half, because obviously it's a machine that's doing it a lot more. But as you can see, it is quite kneadable here.
Exactly. Now we're asking, when are we going to have Jimmy make something on the show? I think it's a very good point.
That is a good point.
And we are using, what we want to use a group for is so that people can post videos. Like we've already had...
you do your own Facebook Live on the
Exactly
group.
right. We do our own Facebook Lives and things like that. So, because there is a wealth of knowledge that... What are you doing? What?
I'm tapping my buns.
Nice. Oh wait, Rosemary has Googled the lukewarm scenario.
Oh, Rosemary,
and
rock.
Popped up in around the 14th century as something meaning slightly warm.
But
wow.
Why?
Lacking, and it also began to have a figurative meaning, lacking in enthusiasm. Well, we're definitely not lacking in enthusiasm around here.
Enthusiasm is live.
That's cool. Thank you for that, Rosemary.
Awesome.
You rock.
Okay.
Well done.
So I've slightly floured that now.
Oh, and Jimmy's gonna do some.
You're going to
recipes.
do a live?
Yeah.
No. Don't upstage me though, Jimmy. You'll get in trouble. And I want to see nice lipstick. So
you have to make your own. Well, you're not wearing your custom.
I'm not wearing a custom-made apron.
Sorry, anyway, we're talking. So you've made that look nice. You've tapped your buns.
I've patted my buns.
Patted your bun.
Slightly floured it so it can move.
So it's not going to sit.
Some people like to oil their things. I think that's overkill. Just a little bit of flour on the outside, and then it won't stick to the sides because that's going to double in size. Bum, bum, bum. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh, Jimmy's Sicilian, so he's going to upstage you.
You're not silly.
No, Sicilian.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So anyway, this is the equivalent to around about a quarter. So pretend that we have
a quarter of what you just mixed.
This is
no.
Half.
Oh.
It's like 2/12. So 1/6. It's 1/6 of this amount. 1/6.
Sorry, Melanie mentioned Jimmy's bacon jam.
Oh, I know.
Bacon jam.
Okay, so after it's proved for an hour and a half, that's when you want to put your chocolate chips in. Why?
Not before.
Say? Why?
Whoa, everyone's asking why.
Why?
Yeah.
Because your chips will just melt.
Oh, you don't
because of
melt
the warmth
chips.
of the butter and the warmth of the rising and putting it in a warm place, you're just going to end up with white chocolate or chocolate all the way through. So as you can see, I've got bits.
Thank you, Rosemary. Sorry.
Even then, they're still, going through it. Like they're still starting to melt through it.
Just in the ambient temperature. But the best thing about, sorry, can I just say, the best thing about chocolate, what are they called, hot cross buns, is when you heat them and you get the chocolate all over your fingers and you have to go...
The melted chocolate pops.
Yeah, so you don't want to pre-melt.
You don't want to pre-melt your chocolate.
No.
Okay, so once you've risen it, added your chocolate if that's when you want to do, and knead it again for sort of a minute just to combine that chocolate and get it all to a stage. Make it into sort of a long log. Now, as I said, this is the equivalent to 2 hot cross buns. of the size that I've cooked. If you want to make them smaller, make them smaller. So
now we put this is a quick video. We'd put melted chocolate hot cross buns is perfect. I agree, Alana. This is the video you put up on the group just before.
It is.
Just to give people a sense of...
Now, a really good way to sort of, I mean, you guys might have other ways to do it, but a good way to make your buns look nice
is to work out
exercise.
A lot. Yeah. Oh, jinx. And Melanie's learned something about the chocolate chips, so that's good.
Yeah.
Teaching.
Thanks. Nice. I discovered that when I went into Bite and went, where the hell are my chocolate chips gone?
Yeah.
So yeah, you just kind of turn them in around. Now, you actually need to leave these. Oh, hang on.
Didn't you fold them or something?
Yeah, you sort of fold them in and around.
Do it again.
Well, I'm scared the chocolate's melting. See how it's
yes.
underside? And you sort of just kind of pull them and pat it down. So
you're getting a nice top.
So that you're getting a nice top as possible.
There we go.
So,
2 nice little buns.
If you want them like the store and they've obviously been cooked in a tin, use a tin with sides. If you just want to put them on an oven tray like that, that's fine as well.
Rebecca's coming over to heat our hot cross buns. She's given us fair warning.
Very good.
There won't be any left, Rebecca. Sorry.
You need to leave that for another half hour. So in total there's 2 hours of proving. So leave it with the tea towel over it for another half an hour. And what we'll do is that they'll actually rise up even more.
Yep.
Because we've bashed them down. And at close to the end of the hot cross proving bun thing, you can get your oven heated to 170 degrees Celsius. And
heat your oven to 170 degrees Celsius.
You can make your flour and water mixture for on top of the hot cross buns. Now, I'm not going to bother with that. It's all in the recipe. So basically half a cup of flour with 4 to 5 tablespoons of water. And you want it to a consistency that is going to be gloopy enough to come out, but solid enough to keep form. So
what was that for?
This is for the I've lost my other bag. This is to make the cross. Oh, look, I'll just make it for you.
Just do it,
because you're confused.
I'm confused.
I'm only going to make a little though because I'm only covering 2 buns.
Yes.
So
this is the trick to make.
This is the trick to make the cross on your hot cross bun. It's only flour and water.
Where's the bag gone?
Don't talk to me like that. I'm right here. So rude.
In the room.
And on camera. So you want a consistency of icing is probably a good, but don't lick it because it's horrible. It's not icing
flour.
at all. So you just...
You're essentially making glue.
Yeah, I'm making glue.
And it's got to be quite runny. So this is for the cross.
This is for the cross. So once you have proven your buns for another half an hour, you need to put the cross on before you stick it in the oven.
Yum.
20 to 25 minutes.
Now I'm going to ask another question just while you mix that up to get the cross mixture.
Yes.
I always have to have my hot cross buns hot.
Yes.
Mainly because it's in the name, with a
lot of butter.
A lot of butter.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can actually physically eat a cold cross bun. I don't know how people feel about that. I know I've got plenty of friends who, glue crosses. That's exactly right, Mel. People eat cold pizza, for example, which I'm not a big fan of. No, I do that face as well. But I don't know. Yeah, Alana, you got to have them hot with butter. Like blitz them in the microwave or whatever, or take them fresh out of the oven and have them. But even in the microwave, they go a bit squishy and everything. But it's still hot. I don't know.
I think that's just your OCD with the name.
It is. Mel agrees. Hot and dripping with butter.
Cold cross buns.
You can't have cold cross buns.
Well, they're cold cross buns.
Rosemary would ask me to stop doing this, where I zoom in on the buns.
Oh.
Sorry, Rosemary. So you want me to stop doing that when I zoom in on the buns?
You better not do it. Okay, this is my magic trick.
Okay.
Everybody!
Ready? Are you ready? Mel, are you watching? No, that wasn't a magic trick.
That was
terrible.
Anyway, get a bag.
Bag.
A Ziploc bag.
Ziploc bag.
And
chuck your
stuff in. Hopefully not everywhere.
No. Don't drop it on there.
There's two reasons why you do this. The first reason you'll see in a minute. The second reason is because if you've got any lumps in there...
Oh, Margaret toasts her buns.
Oh, yeah, toasted buns.
Oh, see, I don't do that.
Oh, well, that's because you don't cook.
Oh,
so if you've also got any bumps and lumps that you can't get out by mashing it with a spoon, it's a really good thing to do it. Now, normally I wouldn't do this until these have risen.
Risen. So after an hour.
Half an hour.
Half an hour of risening?
Half an hour risen. So you just want to get the bag.
Mel bought a packet of Hot Cross Buns the other day. Just
Chop it
for
up.
now, it's not going to last. Chop the corner of the bag off.
Chop the corner of the bag off. And then it gives you...
A nice little, look at that.
A nice little...
Piping bag.
Hopefully, I haven't made it too runny. I haven't.
Oh, it's perfect.
So...
There you go.
And there's your cross. And so now once you've crossed...
Alana's coming over for afternoon tea as well.
Now once you've crossed your buns...
Look at that.
And you've put your cross on...
We could do smiley faces.
You could do whatever you want. You could actually let the kids do whatever they want.
Yep.
So then they need to cook for 20 to 25 minutes in a fan force 170 oven.
If you were having, so I walked in before when you'd cooked this. If you were having people over for an afternoon and you chuck them in 25 minutes before they got there, the house would smell amazing and you would have like cooking kudos till the cows came home if you did that.
If you want to go and store-bought your oven, I also have another way of having cooking kudos.
Go on then.
Just put a little bit of cinnamon and some water in the microwave and it makes the entire house smell like you've been cooking.
Oh,
so
nice.
Anyway,
well done.
just
So you can fake your way through it. So you just whip these up.
Whip these fancy hot cross buns up.
Meantime,
okay, so now I put a glaze on mine. I just like adding a glaze, and I also put cinnamon in my glaze.
Sorry, Rosemary, showing the things again.
Just to add that little bit more. You can leave that out if you wish. But in a glaze, you want to put...
you can see the cinnamon in the glaze.
In a pot of water, you want to put, I think it's 1/4 cup of caster sugar. Again, it's in the notes. I can't remember. My memory is very forgetting at the moment.
I'd like to throw a challenge out to the people in the group to make these hot cross buns and put up photos of the hot cross buns.
Oh, go on then.
So please. Give it a go, because it's really easy to make.
Some cinnamon, and some really good idea to squash your lumps.
So this is making the glaze.
And the sugar.
A cinnamon glaze.
And then just some water. I think it's around 1/3 cup. Yep. Now you want to bring that to the boil on the stove.
Oh, Hershey's chocolate hot cross buns.
What the heck now?
Wow, that sounds
very
like a great
specific.
idea.
You want to bring that to the boil, and you want to reduce it to about half of that liquid volume, and then you really just want to do this sort of close to your buns coming out, so that when they're warm, then you can paint it using like a pastry brush on your buns, and the heat of the buns absorbs.
So like 5 or 6 minutes before the buns come out?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 minutes, because you need to boil it for sort of 2 to 4 minutes or so it takes to do it. So yeah.
Whoa, sorry, stop. Melanie saw a fruitless hot cross bun.
Yeah, they do fruitless ones.
They also started coming out the day after Christmas, basically. I think that's when I first started to see the hot cross bun.
You mean in the supermarket?
In the supermarket, yeah.
So anyway, and then you end up with this lovely little thing.
Lovely glaze. Well, you're not going to do that now. We don't need to show that now.
I'm not glazing now.
No.
But if I was, I'd just
cut
go
one
like
of these
this.
up,
Well, I was going to. I
then.
haven't got my knife out though. But
all right.
So I was going to. Oh, they're still slightly warm.
Yum.
So look at that.
Now imagine that with the
all
butter
chocolate. And I'm going to eat the top with the glaze.
I like the top with the glaze, but is it nice? You're doing that thing where you eat in front of people on Facebook again. I guess it's hard to not do it.
People must wonder why I'm not fat.
So you do all the eating?
Oh, I just eat.
Just eat? They're nice. Well done. Well, everybody.
So anyway,
that's how you make homemade hot cross buns. I just want to personally say thank you all for all the banter and comments, because it makes it a lot more fun. We've tried to do a couple of these videos where we're just recording them, and I can tell you right now it is not as much fun. It's really, really hard.
I get really grumpy.
Yeah. Oh, and no butter on that one, no, because you can't bother going to the fridge, basically.
I will get it out.
You'll get it out. I want to microwave them, Mel. They've been sitting there for a little bit, so they need to be microwaved.
They're not hot.
They're not hot.
They're warm. They
taste good. Lukewarm buns.
Sorry, I'll stop eating with my mouth full.
Alana, you have an amazing Easter. Everyone else having an amazing Easter as well. Thank you very much for your support and comments and all the rest. Join the group if you're not part of the group. Anything else you want to say?
Just happy Easter.
Thanks, Rosemary.
I might do some recipes next week to do with your leftover Easter eggs.
Oh, that's a good idea. Because there is always a million Easter eggs left over. Well, there is. That's what happens.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Thanks, Alana.
And always
the
that
video's
yucky
amazing.
chocolate Easter egg too.
Exactly.
So I'll have some recipes next week.
Bye. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks.
Everybody
Thanks
have wonderful
watching,
weekends, long weekends, and enjoy. See you.
Bye.